Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Francis Oyima Edet, coming to you live from Iyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Bola Tinubu to preside over second FEC meeting today. Back here, Governor Omoyona urges indigents in top military ranks to support development at home. Plus, businessman Daniel Nobo elected Ecuador's youngest president. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Many thanks for joining us. We begin the news this afternoon from the national scene, where the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting is expected to hold today. A special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, made this known to newsmen. Ngelale said President Bola Tinubu would chair the meeting, to be attended by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Chief to Staff to the President, and Ministers. The meeting will also be attended by the Head of Service of the Federation, special advisors, as well as other top government functionaries. Ngelale added that the second edition of the meeting in the life of the present administration will discuss issues concerning approvals given by the President on economic and social matters. Away from that, the authorities of the University of Ilorin says President Bola Tinubu, the institution's visitor, will on October 23rd unveil some project its administration recently completed. The university's Director of Corporate Affairs, Kunle Akogan, disclosed this in a statement highlighting the institution's combined 37th and 38th convocation ceremonies. Akogan stated that the ceremonies will begin on Friday with a special Jamaat service followed by an interdenominational church service on Sunday. The Unilorin spokesperson noted that Saturday would be convocation day 2 for the conferment of degrees and honors on all the 2021-2022 final year students of 4-year and 5-year academic programs. In a separate development, the federal government has assured Nigerians that it will not trample on people's right and press freedom in the fight against fake news and disinformation in the country. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, stated this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. Idris called on Nigerians to always promote the truth and nothing but the truth. The minister further explained that there are people who are using so many platforms to provide credible information, adding that such is desirable and should be emulated. In another development, the Federal Capital Territory FCT commander of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has seized 3,988,074 kilograms of assorted drugs with a monetary value of 80 million naira. The FCT commander of narcotics, Kabir Sakwa, disclosed this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. Sakwa thus said that 131 suspected drug traffickers, peddlers and abusers were also arrested in the same period. He named the assorted drugs to include cannabis sativa, cocaine, methamphetamine, tramadol, raphanol, and diazepam. The commander noted that the major drug seized by the operatives of the NDLEA was cannabis sativa, adding that many suspects were prosecuted and convicted in the same period. On electoral matters, the Bayelsa State Resident Electoral Commissioner, REC, Oboefanga, has maintained that polling unit results will be uploaded on the INEC result viewing portal IRF for the Bayelsa, Kogi and Imo governorship polls. while the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, had reportedly said results will not be uploaded on the IREV. FAR maintained that the electoral body will be deploying it for the off-season elections billed for November 11, 2023. According to him, the portal is ready and was used in a recent mock accreditation held ahead of the elections. He therefore expressed confidence that with the deployment of technology, the polls will be hitch-free. Away from that, Ebonyi State government has warned against the continuous vandalization of the state's water project facilities located at Ezilo, Ufuru, Apri, and Abakaliki capital city by hoodlums. The State Commissioner for Water Resources, Nka Chinedu, who spoke to us newsmen, described the illegal connection and building of houses and waterways by citizens. The state government, led by Governor Francis Nwefuru, had fixed all the vandalized facilities and rearticulated water to the people after 8 years of non-supply of water. According to him, the vandalization affected pipes, cables, pumps, and other vital tools. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umoino has urged state citizens in top echelon of the military and other federal government agencies to identify with their home state to familiarize themselves with governance and development needs of the people. The governor, who stated this when he treated the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Torid Lagbaja, and his entourage to a state banquet at Government House, Uyo, reiterated that his administration was open to participation by well-meaning indigents and would initiate a periodic convergence of such indigents for the purposes of uniting and moving the state forward. Pastor Umoino also commended Major General Uwembasi for the initiative of undertaking an intervention to construct 3 new classroom blocks, renovate staff quarters, provide water and sanitation facilities in a rural school in the state, which were inaugurated by the Lagbaja, describing them as lofty and in line with the intent of his administration's Arise agenda. Government House correspondent General reports that also speaking, Major General Uwembasi of the Nigerian Defense Research and Development Bureau had thanked the government for the warm reception and appreciated the Army bus for initiating the community development program for senior officers in the Army to impact their communities and for granting him the approval and support to execute the project on his alma mater, the Mbiabong Item Primary School in Ini local government area. In the meantime, Governor Umoino has paid a post-election thank you visit to Uyo Senatorial District, where he appreciated the people for the overwhelming support he garnered during his electioneering campaign that culminated in his victory at the March 18, 2023 poll. Addressing the crowd of party supporters who converged in Ikotekwere and Surubium local government area, Governor Umoino said his administration will deploy the Rise Agenda model to take development to the hinterland of Uyo local government area by ensuring that it births a signature project as replicated in other senatorial districts of the state while furthering on the Uyo Development Master Plan. Earlier, the host and leader of Uyo Senatorial District, Senator Effiong Bob, and the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Kufrebasi Edidem, commended the governor for deeming it necessary to go around to appreciate the districts in line with his promise during the electioneering process, adding that his people were proud of him and pledged to give him maximum support throughout his stay in office. Government House correspondent Jen Hua reports that the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Nabangwa, pointed out that the governor's gesture returning to thank his people spoke volumes of his disposition towards the people of Uyo Senatorial District and therefore called on the people to rally support for the success of the administration. We move now to Africa, where Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo have agreed to mutually abolish visa requirements to allow visa-free travel between each country. The agreement is aimed at easing the movement of people and strengthening trade between the two countries. The agreement follows recent talks between the two countries' officials in the DR Congo capital, Kinshasa. Recall that Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has for months been advocating for visa-free entry between the two countries. Still in Africa, Liberia's President George Weah and opposition candidate Joseph Boakai are neck and neck in the presidential election result, with almost 3/4 of the vote result in. The country's National Elections Commission announced that Weah has a narrow lead of 43.8% against Boakai's 43.5%, with about 73% of the votes. The commission had announced results from 4,295 of the country's 5,890 polling places yesterday. The announcement came as the West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS warned against declaration of premature victories. It also called for all parties to uphold peace as they awaited the result, adding that they would be held accountable for any actions that could lead to violence and instability. On the foreign scene, businessman Daniel Noboa is set to become the youngest president in Ecuador's history at the age of 35. Noboa won Sunday's election with 52.3% of the vote ahead of Luisa Gonzalez's 47.7%. The 35-year-old of the National Democratic Party, Action Party, is reportedly the son of Alvaro Noboa, who ran unsuccessfully for the presidency 5 times. Reports say Noboa will only have 17 months in office due to the fact that the current election was triggered early when outgoing President Guillermo Lasso. Still on the foreign scene, Israel's military has announced a plan to evacuate communities in northern Israel near the border with Lebanon. The Israel Defense Forces said residents of 28 communities that lie within 2 kilometers of the border will be moved into state-funded guest houses. The Israeli military added that 1 Israeli civilian was killed in a Hezbollah missile attack on one of the villages near the border. Still to come in the news, Nigeria wins first West Africa Cricket Trophy in Lagos. Just stay with us.
Every society is premised on the quality of relationships forged by its inhabitants. The health of these relationships determines how well people, relationships, organizations thrive and how long they stick together. Join Uyai Anyekan on Connect every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and on Sunday 2:30 to 3 p.m. on channel 421 on Star Times to catch all the conversations, interviews, real stories and how to navigate relationships and family life in the 21st century. Real people, real faces, real stories. Connect live on Spectrum Television.
Nigerian police.
Many thanks for staying with us, and now to the rest of our news stories. On a business news, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said that Naira is currently under pressure and Nigeria is free to seek loan from the fund to stabilize the currency if it considers a good option. The Washington-based lender, however, noted that recent exchange reforms and other steps taken by the Nigerian authorities were in order. It also expressed support for Olayemi Kodaso's-led Central Bank of Nigeria's last week's decision to hold the 8-year foreign exchange ban on cement, rice, poultry product and 40 other items. IMF said inflation in Nigeria was still high at 26% in August, while the Naira continued to be under pressure. Still in business, the Institute of Capital Market Registrars has said that an effective utilization of Nigeria's capital market can help the nation to regain its economic momentum. This was disclosed by the President and Chairman of Council of the Institute, Oluseyi Owutoro, in a statement issued in Lagos. He added that the inherent opportunities in the capital market to help the nation regain its economic momentum would take center stage at the ICMR's 2023 annual conference slated for November in Lagos. To Hull now, where the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, says the federal government has made provisions for retired medical providers in non-administrative positions to be re-engaged on a contractual basis. He made the disclosure in Abuja while fielding questions from newsmen after his visit to the National Hospital, Abuja. According to him, the provisions is to close the human resources gap being experienced in the health sector owing to various reasons, among which is the brain drain of clinical manpower. The minister said the government would do everything possible to retain those who are willing to return to service. Still in health, public health physicians have called for sustained awareness of diphtheria and total vaccination of every child against the disease, especially those in the north, to forestall preventable loss of lives. They also called for the sensitization of parents and those at the grassroots on the importance of vaccination and implored parents to avail their children of the opportunity to get vaccinated to reduce the children's susceptibility and vulnerability to diphtheria. The calls came following the statement by the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Schweib, that over 80% of children who died of diphtheria or were admitted to hospitals never received routine childhood immunizations. Schweib urged parents to ensure that their children are up to date with their vaccinations and appealed to caregivers to pay attention to personal and environmental hygiene. In sport, Nigeria's men cricket team, the Yellow-Green, completed a clean sweep at the first West Africa Trophy concluded at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos by winning all their 10 matches at the event. They routed Rwanda to 17 runs victory, their fourth win over the East Africa side during the 20-match series that kicked off on Wednesday, October 4, 2023. Nigeria had qualified for the finals of the West Africa Trophy after winning all her round-robin matches, which included playing Ghana, Sierra Leone and Rwanda. The 10th match was a placement that pitched Nigeria with 18 points against Rwanda, who had the second highest points, 8 from 4 matches. Still in sports, Spain clinched their place at Euro 2024 after a 1-0 win away to Norway, also sending Scotland through from Group A as Turkey joined the growing ranks of qualifiers. Barcelona midfielder Gavi scored the only goal early in the second half in Oslo, bouncing a shot into the corner to help Spain qualify for next year's finals in Germany with 2 games to spare. They moved top of Group A on goal difference, but the result ensured Scotland punched their ticket to the tournament as well, with Norway 5 points adrift going into their last match next month. Norway have not qualified for a major competition since Euro 2000, but a team featuring Erling Haaland and Martin Odegaard still has hope of advancing to the playoffs. To entertainment now, where Nigerian singer-songwriter Sadiq Onifade, popularly known as World, has released a new single titled Sarafina ahead of his upcoming EP. Don't get used to this. Sarafina sees the singer waxing poetic about an intoxicating new love of a whimsical, addictive rhythm co-produced by himself and Dries. Meanwhile, Don't Get Used to This showcases Waltz's evolution as a singer, songwriter and producer. The EP is his inaugural release under Addictive Content, a new imprint he created to shine a light on the future sounds and the next generation of African talents. And that's all we have for you this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You've been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Francis Oyima, edit. Many thanks for being there, and do enjoy the rest of your week.